Everybody tells you you need to have a signal, but nobody tells you what your signal is and how to make it shine. This is the part that nobody ever explains that I'm going to break down for you real, clear, and simply today. Hi, my name's Steve Kidd. I spent the last 40 years, that's right, I said 40 years. I know I'm old. And I spent the last 40 years helping people really understand, know, and live in the space of being visible and valuable. I've worked with everything from brand new startup companies to Fortune 50 companies, with over 5,000 authors, helping them put their signal, their message, their words, what they do in the world out into the world. We have an unprecedented 100% success rate in making people bestsellers, but we also have, even better than that, the capability to really truly be able to do the things for you that are going to give you the visibility that you don't just crave. It's not like, you're hoping, wanting, wishing, addicted to exposure. You're not like the old joke, attention, attention, I just love attention. That's not you at all. You want to show up because you want to make a difference in this world. That takes being visible. When you're visible, then you're valuable. But here's the thing, stuff isn't moving. People don't know who you are. You self define yourself all too often as the best kept secret in your industry. You are the mission without a mission field. You are making such a difference. And I'm not saying that you're not reaching people, you absolutely are. You're making a difference in people's lives. You're just not making the impact that you want to make. Because for the most part, outside of the little bubble that, and sometimes that bubble is created because it's our comfort zone. Sometimes that bubble is created because we just don't know how and what. And unfortunately, worst of all, is that that bubble is created because we've been told some just straight up untruths. Okay, we've been told how many times we should. Sorry, Curtis, not AI. I'm a real human being. Yeah, just me, just Steve. But thanks for being here with us. We've been told if you spend X amount of money on on ads, on this, if you build this landing page, if you do, Gary Vee was talking about, and this was at the beginning of last year, he was talking about doing like 100 posts a day. 100, okay? Like having your full-time job be a social media poster, which if you're getting paid by somebody to post on social media is one thing. But, if you have to do that along with all the other things you do in your business, that can become overwhelming. Buster, hello. Glad to have you here with us. So glad you joined us. You've got people who are, talking to you about Facebook ads and about how much money you can spend on Facebook ads or Google ads or TikTok ads, or even I got a somebody that was pitching me doing Reddit ads. All of those can be effective, but all of those are signal towers. They are ways of shining your signal. First, you have to have the signal. What is the signal? What is that core, that message, that thing? What is that brilliance that is you? And who's it meant for? Felix, glad to have you here with us. You really need to be visible to the people. You don't have to be visible to everybody. You don't have to go massive viral and, let's get 1 million or 100 million or a gazillion, impressions, views on a particular post that we did. I'd rather see you have 10 people that are really truly engaged. I'd rather see you, have one person that comes on to your live. whether it be one person on Facebook or one person on LinkedIn or one person on YouTube or whatever the different, I mean, it could be TikTok, it could be any of the places. I'd rather see you have one person that subscribes to your channel that really wants to hear more from you. That's going to do so much more for you than the million people who could care less. Again, and I quote this all the time, but to quote Seth Godin, better to have 100 raving fans than 10,000 people who could care less. We tend to look at the metrics of our social media following, and that's where we derive our value from, rather than doing the inner work, doing the deep stuff inside of us to know, who am I? What is that thing that I'm truly passionate about? I can tell you from experience, in most cases, and I know some people that this is not them because they've spent the time defining who they truly are. But in most cases, for most people that are struggling, the problem is that they don't really, and I'll put myself in this boat. A lot of times I spent a lot of years in that space, not seeing myself for who I've always been. Spent 59 years, literally my entire life, in media. I'm an absolute expert at it, both from the visibility, from having actually done it, as well as from having the capability and the systems and all of the processes in place to do it for you. And it works, and whether you talk about the different book authors that we've worked with and the ability to be able to take 5,000 people whose books we've done and helped them launch their book as bestseller. But the big piece of that and the missing part for me was understanding that really what I want to do is I want to help highlight you for always, for your lifetime, for the whole expanse of everything that you do, not just I come in, give you a great big dopamine hit and then move away. For me, I want to engage in with you on that. And when it comes to, being the marketing expert that I am after 40 years in this space, what I can tell you is that what you do today is what's going to show up results-wise in about 90 days. In some cases, it might even be a little longer than that, but it's going to be a minimum of 90 days. And what you stop doing today, by 90 days, it will be completely flatlined. Now, I'm not saying that things don't happen in our lives. They absolutely do. And, sometimes we have to rebuild the systems that were already in place. It's hard to push a rock up a mountain. Hey, Garrison, glad to have you here with us. But once you get the rock up to the top of the mountain, it's very easy to push it downhill. You got to put in the effort. Okay? It's really, really hard to build a lighthouse because typically lighthouses are built in treacherous places, bad weather, rocky, craggy coasts, all those kind of things. And creating a solid foundation and building it and all of the things that come into doing that, that's tough. That can be tough stuff. The lighting a fire inside of that, if you just go the old school ways, even before, they used mirrors and stuff to direct the light, and you just talk about the ones that are open topped and they have giant bonfires in them all night long. That's the easy part. And kept quiet for so long. Everybody's teaching you how to build the lighthouse. Nobody's teaching you where the matches are kept so that you can spark the flame. You need to have somebody that comes into your life and says, this is the core of who you are and what you do. These are your people. This is where they are. And here's how you're going to, here's the signal. Okay, I almost said the wrong thing myself because it's not, here's the system for how you're going to use it. It's first and foremost, here is the signal. The things aren't moving, because you've got all these, or don't, but most people I know, they have all these amazingly, incredibly great systems, but they haven't lit the fire. They don't have the visible signal. First, you got to have the signal. Then you need that signal to be visible. That's why I'm such a huge proponent of books, because a book is your ability to be able to really say to the whole world, really, but more specifically, the person that you're meant to reach. And yes, I said that specifically, the person, the one person that you are meant to reach. When we break it down to that level, and then we just have that one-on-one conversation with that one person, we reach tons, thousands, even sometimes millions of people. But when we continue to still try to talk to everybody, we're really kind of saying nothing to anybody. You need that words on a piece of paper that's then published. And yeah, bestseller is day one launch strategy. You need that credential. You need your SEO set up so that the search engine that is Amazon knows how to be able to show you as a search result when somebody's searching for the thing that you do. That's a mechanic, though. That's a system that you put your signal inside of that system. Are you beginning to get it? I mean, I feel a little bit, even though I haven't gone as long as I do some days, I feel a little bit like I'm already beating a dead horse, which is just mean to the poor horse. We just really simply need to know, who am I? What am I passionate about? What is the thing that I could talk about for the rest of forever and never run out of words for it, because I love this whole thing? And then the question becomes, why? Why are you passionate about it? Why is it important to you when it isn't to other people? Doesn't matter what the thing is. There's no judgment there, because that's just who you are. Then we take that why and we talk about, okay, who needs that? Who is that truly for? All too often we've fallen into the trap of preaching to the choir, is what they would call it in church. We want to, for example, I'll pick on ministers because, I am one, so I can pick on them, right? All too often what we really want to do is reach people that don't come to church. So what do? We put up a really beautiful sign outside of our church and we invite people, come to me. And we sit inside of our four walls and we stay inside of there. And we want, wish, hope, pray, dream of the people coming. And they don't. Because they don't know you have what they want. And for the most part, they probably even believe that they don't want what you have. And although church is a perfect example of that, because it's a very polarizing kind of a situation to say, most of us with our businesses, we do the same thing. We put up our social media posts and we hope people are coming to our posts. We create our, for example, Facebook group, and we hope that people are coming to join our Facebook group. If you were going to talk about a Facebook thing, and it really comes second or third or fourth, because you need that authority and that visibility, you need that signal way before. But if you're talking about your posting strategy really should be in other people's groups, going out and being visible and valuable where the people already are, going to them. I mean, yes, we build big hospitals and then we put the best doctors in the world in them so that people will come to the hospital. But what about the person who doesn't know where that hospital is adverse to going to hospitals, or needs the help right now? Are we positioning ourselves where they are, or are we just inviting them to come search us out and find us? Do we have a clear signal And then are we using the systems to shine that signal? Or are we just putting in a ton of effort without that signal and wondering why we're getting no responses? You see, your clear and clearly articulated signal is going to make a difference. That's where your book is just so amazing with that. And that's why then after you have the book, because the book's not magic. Again, you do the book, you put it out on Amazon, and then again, you're talking about, okay, now everybody just has to find my book magically. No, we're going to continually on and on and on and on and on and on, nonstop, ongoingly, shine that signal to where those people are very clearly. And that's, of course, what we do all day long. If you'd like to know what your signal is and know how to be able to make sure that the people who that signal is for are seeing it, DM the word review to me or drop the word review in comments. Let's get you visible and valuable today. Let's get you the kind of truly visible, massive visibility that isn't dependent on whether or not you have the greatest, most beautifully elegant landing page, or you're just simply standing on the corner that your person's going to walk by with a sandwich board sign that says, I know you're hungry and you really like tomato soup and grilled cheese sandwiches. And have I got the world's greatest tomato soup and grilled cheese sandwiches? So much so, let me prove it to you. Let me hand you a free sample. Let you try it. When we have that signal in place, then the signal shines. Then the systems can work. Then our effort works. But without that signal, it will never do anything. And that signal does what all the effort in the world could never do. I'm so grateful for you. Thanks so much for spending some time with me here today. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about our visibility timeline and talk about what momentum really looks like, really, truly in real time. I'm going to break it right down for you. That's what we're going to spend all week doing, is just kind of breaking it down, giving you the real, and the truth. And until then, I really do hope that you're having an amazing week, that you're happy, safe, warm, and loved. And then until we're together again next time, you have a great week.